I think in order to use the dining plan to its fullest, like you really do, you got to go all out. Like you got to use all the table services. You got to use all the snacks. You got to use your resort mug every single night. You got to order alcohol or, specialty drinks. You got to order appetizers. You got to order dessert. Like, you literally have to take full advantage of it for it to be worth it. Because if you just show up, you miss out on the snacks. You never order dessert. Like, you always get water. Like, it's going to be cheaper if you just pay out of pocket all day. What is up? And welcome back to another episode of Going Beyond the Castle. I am your host, Fred Briley, and with me as always is my fabulous co-host, Lord Calamo. And I am super excited for this week because we are talking my favorite subject in the whole wide world, food. So super excited to dig into today's episode as we talk all things food, talk dining. For those of joining us, we appreciate you joining us and tuning in tonight. I'm super excited for this episode, especially because for a while now, Lori and I have been going back and forth about, whether it's a must-have or must-not-have. And as we dive through the episode, I don't know, I'm intrigued to see how this plays out because some opinions have changed recently.
I do. I go back and forth with a dining plan. I don't know. I mean, obviously, if it's free, then I'm all for it. So I go back and forth. So it just depends on the trip, I guess, to whether it's worth it or not.
Yeah, which I think we'll cover that a little bit later. I got some points to hit on that. Yeah. But again, welcome. Super excited for this episode. We're both excited for this episode today. Before we dive in, as always, I think we have a couple minor announcements specifically for Universal.
Yeah, Universal is always fun to talk about, especially because, we're mainly Disney focused, but that's because, we have more experience there and we love it. But I do love Universal. And right now they have a special promotion out right now where you buy 2 days and you can get 2 days free. So it's 2 park, 2-day tickets, and then you get an extra 2 days, which is great. I think Universal can be done in less days. However, having those extra days in kind of gives you a little bit more time where you can sleep in, take your time and make it through the parks. And then, of course, when you get free days, then you're not stressed to try to do everything in 1 day or 2 days. Yeah. So definitely good to take advantage of those deals when they're out. And then also, I guess this one's kind of fun for me, especially being from the New Orleans area. Universal does Mardi Gras pretty big, and they just released their Mardi Gras information, their live concerts. Some of these people, I don't really know who they are, but I'm sure a lot of people will get it. Like T-Pain. I'm not sure if I know who T-Pain is. Maybe I'm showing my age.
Really? God.
Okay, so to be fair, a lot of times Josh will be like, you know who that is, and then they'll tell me a song, and I'm like, okay. I don't pay much attention to the names. I do know Kool and the Gang, so that's definitely showing my age. Plus, it's a different Kool and the Gang. Anyway, some fun stuff. Scotty McCreery, we always do his little country song because, he was from American Idol. But fun stuff. And then they really do. We've talked about this before. Universal, the floats that they have for their Mardi Gras season is really good. And Blaine Kern, who is from the New Orleans area, is involved a lot in making those floats. I found that out when we were there one year for cheer. So that's kind of neat. So if you want to visit Universal during Mardi Gras, hit us up and Fred and I can help you out with that.
Better yet, just come to New Orleans. We'll help you book a trip to NOLA.
Yeah. I don't know. That's terrible. The only parades that I do for Mardi Gras is the ones that we have to march in for band and cheer.
Yeah, we didn't do any parades last year. Like, what's funny is I'm not a crowd person. I'm not a party person. I'm not a crowd person. But you'll see me at Disney any day of the week. But like, it just doesn't look fun. And like, even last year, it was our first year living in New Orleans for Mardi Gras, and both Rachel and I were off work. But the girls were in school, so we were like, hey, let's do a date day. Let's go do all this stuff. The whole city shuts down. Did not know that. We even went to a place. Where was it? We went up to Lakeside Mall. And found out it was closed, and instead of going to the parade that was on the street right by us, we sat in Starbucks. It's like, okay.
Yeah, the only festivals I like are the festivals at Epcot. Like, I'm not a festival person. I mean, I went to parades when I was younger, but even then, I really wasn't a huge parade fan. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. My
Maybe
kids
this
didn't grow
year,
up going to parades either because we didn't like it. So, we deprived them.
I do want to hit. They have that one parade that's over here on the West Bank that's like all kids focused. You know the one I'm talking about? Like kids are in it. Like it's more kid friendly.
I don't.
I'm gonna have to look it up. I'll tell you what it is. But there's that
Yeah.
parade. I wouldn't mind going to that. But all the other nonsense.
Yeah. It's too much.
Anyway.
Anyway.
All right. So let's talk dining plans. So dining plans, I think, are fabulous. And my background with dining plans is when I first went to Disney World in 2018, Rachel planned it all. Like, she did everything. Bob and I were just there to be there. And so that was my first experience with, dining plans, which of course it was different back then because it was pre-COVID. But like, I'm all for the inclusive feel, like, of the dining plan. Like, just the fact, which I think I've said this before, just the fact that they can bring me my bill and I'm like, I don't need to see that. And then it's just a lot of work to it.
Yeah, I do get that part of it. Again, and that's what I'll tell clients too when they ask me, do I think it's worth it? And I'm like, if you want to have everything paid for in advance, that way you could just go there and you don't have to worry about anything because everything's paid for as far as your food. Absolutely. If you're on a tighter budget or if you have picky eaters that may not eat as much, then maybe we'll talk about it.
I think it all comes out like, which of course we'll dive into some of this stuff today, but like it requires planning. Like you can't just be like, oh, it saves money because like it doesn't. Like sometimes it does, but sometimes it doesn't. But I think, how do we want to start to just dive into the two different, what are the dining plans?
Yeah, I think it's changed a lot because even in doing research, especially, you can't use some of the AI stuff because it's going to pull in old information. Because pre-COVID, there were multiple dining plans and now there's two.
Yeah.
There's the quick service dining plan and the Disney dining plan.
Well, even still, like the other night, like Rachel and I were sitting there talking because we were talking about my upcoming trip with Jamel, and I was reading through it. I was like, when we went in September, didn't we get 2 snacks per person? Rachel was like, yeah. I was like, well, it's now changed. It's now only 1 snack. Like,
did y'all had the quick service or the Disney dining?
We had the quick
service.
Yeah. So, like, it's constantly changing.
It's going to be my night to cough.
That's fine. I'm finally feeling better, so it's your turn. You can have it.
Yeah, mine are just, hopefully it's the weather.
Yeah. But so,
yeah.
Yeah, so you got the 2 different types of dining plans nowadays, which is the quick service and the Disney dining.
And the Disney dining plan. Yeah, and the difference with those two is the quick service is basically that you get 2 quick service meals a day, and we'll go into details too later about what the different meals are for folks who are new. But on the quick service dining plan, you get 2 quick service meals, a snack, and a drink. You get the refillable mug that you can use only at the resort. And then the Disney dining plan is where you get 1 table service or a sit-down meal, 1 quick service, and a snack with a drink and the refillable mug.
Which, veering off course for a second, I really think Disney needs to follow Universal.
With the mug?
With the mug. Like, so many people are so hesitant to get the refillable mug because it is only for the resorts. But like I'm telling you, if you put freestyle machines in the parks, Disney would make bank on those cups.
Yeah, I don't ever get it. I mean, I may get it just as a souvenir type thing, but I don't use it because most of the time we're going in the quick service, like if we're going for breakfast on the way out, or we may come in the evening, but I don't feel like going to my room to get the mug to come back and fill it. Right. So I barely ever use it.
Yeah. But no,
for that reason.
Yeah.
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 Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, I think they both have their, you know, which I'm going to save my comment for later because I'm going to save my comment for later. Go ahead.
Okay. I was just saying, and too, the snack, I guess, is kind of broad too, because traditionally when you're thinking of a snack, you're thinking like a Mickey shaped ice cream, the churros, the Dole Whips, those kind of things. But there are some quick service locations that you can use a snack and get like a muffin or a
Yeah.
donut, those kind of things where you can, use a snack as like your breakfast.
Yeah.
I'm going to save mine for Mickey ice cream,
Don't whip.
but yeah, or a Dole Whip, which, man, I forgot about that. I didn't talk about it before, that sangria Dole Whip. I got to put that on my list to get that when we go in February.
But no, I
Like,
think it's
I'm
crazy.
going to Animal Kingdom just so I can get that.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, Animal Kingdom is my favorite, but
You would go to Animal Kingdom regardless.
yes, I would go there regardless, but we're very limited on times. But I definitely want to go get that. I don't drink a whole lot, but I do love sangria. So I'm like dying to taste that. I think it would be great. But yeah, so the snack can be used for a variety of things. You can go into the Starbucks and get a coffee with the snack.
Giant turkey leg. Like there's so much stuff.
Yeah, there's so many things that you can use the snack for.
Yeah.
So that's when we say in a meal versus a snack, that's kind of what the difference in those are.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, if you're like me, man, you got to plan those snacks out because there's so many really good snacks all over the parks. Like you got to sit down. And what's crazy too, I feel like this doesn't help the dining plan, but like a lot of the really good snacks that Disney's come out with recently aren't considered snacks, like worth a snack credit.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and that's one of the things too, when you're considering, because if you're going to want to get some of those specialty things, then you're still going to be paying.
Yeah.
And let's be real, even if you have the dining plan, like you're going to get more snacks than probably one snack a day. I mean, you're on vacation. So,
and you can't go off of there's a lot of really good articles out there that are like, here's some of the best snacks in each park, but like you really can't go off of that because, like prime example, when Rachel and I went back in September, like we had our list of snacks, and so many times we would roll up and find out it wasn't snack credit anymore, and it was like a $7 to $8 snack. We're like, no, we're good.
Yeah. Yeah, and one of the things too, I guess since we kind of got quick service, I'll save that comment.
Yeah,
once we finish.
I keep coming up with all these things, and I'm like, no, save it.
Yeah.
No, and then you mentioned like a really good one too. Like one of the good things about Epcot, which again, like this just boasts how great the park Epcot is all of the additional booths and the seasonal festivals that they have, like all the mini country booths that they pop up. Like a lot of that stuff is worth a snack credit. So you get a lot more options when in those smaller booths.
Yeah, I mean, no hate on Epcot, because of course some of my favorite rides are there, Guardians and but actually I'm considering that Friday that we arrive for Liv's Cheer Trip, maybe just going and hanging out, because I've never done Festival of the Arts.
I haven't either.
So like, so I'm like, it'd be something new to experience and go, and I'll get lots of good social media pictures because all of the snacks are,
fabulous,
are artsy. So I think so. I mean, we may get a park hopper. I told him, so maybe go hang out in Epcot and then go over see Fantasmic. But, but anyway, yeah. So quick service meals, like we said, you get 2 quick service meals a day and 1 snack. And this one's good for those who don't want to do a lot of planning. Like, because, for table service meals, you have to schedule in advance. You book your reservations. Some people don't like being tied down to a schedule, like that. So the quick service meal plan is good for those who just want to eat when they feel like eating.
And also those who don't eat a lot, because a lot of your table service, like there's so much food. And like, I keep going back to us, but it's a prime example. Like we had the quick service plan because like, it's just, there's so much food for 4 people. Like all 4 of us can't eat all that food. So like we definitely did a lot of table service dining, but just the quick service is much smaller portions, much more manageable, especially if you're not a big eater, if you have kids who don't eat a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. And then even sometimes because I know a lot of times when we go, and I'll do it sometimes just to share with Olivia because it's not going to be a big meal, but like the chicken strips, like
Yeah.
the chicken and fries, like two people can eat on that. So, or if there's things that you want to get, you can even each get a quick service meal and then kind of share them. Because those, are fairly, if you have a picky eater or one who doesn't eat a lot, but it's, just being able to, and then with the mobile ordering now, it's very convenient because you don't have to always go stand in line. Like, you feel like you're getting hungry. Like,
Yeah.
what? Let me throw my order in the mobile app and get it ready and then just go and pick it up. And then you sit down and eat.
I will never stand in line to order quick service again. Like
Yeah.
every time, like we went back to the resort a lot of times for staying at Pop Century to either eat at Everything Pop or going over to Art Animation to eat there for lunch. And like as soon as we hopped on transportation back to the resort, I'd order our lunch, show up, hey, it's ready, go pick it up. We go back to the room and eat our lunch. Quick service saves so much. Our mobile ordering saves so much time with that quick service.
It definitely does. And it's good because you can, if you want, like you said, take a break and order your food and go back to the resort and eat it, or eat at the, you could sit down in the cafe and eat it. It's good that, you could take it on the go back to your room, have a little lunch and take a nap. It's just the mobile ordering is definitely a lifesaver. It's, it's fast, it's flexible. It's perfect for those who don't want to have to plan.
Like I've got a family going in March, and I just did their dining this past week, but they only wanted one dining reservation, Chef Mickey's, because they were like, my kid has to have dinner with Mickey. I was like, okay, cool. I was like, you guys don't want like any other dining reservations? Like they're doing 3 days in park, and they were like, no, like we really don't even want this one because we don't want to be tied down to a time.
A schedule. Yeah.
They're like, but he wants to eat with Mickey, so we'll do a dining reservation. So everything else, they're just winging it, which, I mean, quick service is great for that.
Thank you for tuning in to Going Beyond the Castle. If you're ready to turn your vacation dreams into reality, we'd love to help you plan your next adventure. Contact us at beacons.ai/GoingBeyondTheCastle podcast. Let us take the stress out of planning so you can focus on the fun.
Yeah, one of the downsides though, it's good to try to eat on off times.
Mm-hmm.
Because, of course, if you're going at a prime lunchtime, then you may have a little bit longer wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, things are packed. So, and what having two quick service meals, I mean, you really could get up a little if you're not a road jobber. If you want to get up a little bit later and have like a late breakfast, early lunch, and then have, a dinner later on and then use the snack.
Yeah.
It's perfect for that. But yeah, try to go, definitely don't go between, I would say 11 or 11:30 and 1-ish maybe. It's probably a busy time.
Yeah.
But if you can hit it at an off time, then maybe not have as long as wait.
I will say too, I haven't really experienced bad food at Disney. And I know there's some people out there that are like, Disney food's awful, and I'm like, okay, whatever. But I will say you're not getting I think it depends on where you go, but a lot of the quick services are fast food style foods. Like you're getting a lot more mass produced items in a quicker time. So the food is not as great as a table service restaurant would be.
Yeah.
But it's still good food. I don't think I've ever been disappointed in a quick service restaurant that I've eaten at.
Right. Yeah. And man, I wish I could think of all of the names. There's so many. I was trying to pull up a list, but there's no way we could even talk about them. And we've talked about it before too, where how people are like, oh, the food at Disney's terrible. And I'm like, man, you can get really good food. You just have to know where to go.
Yeah.
And of course there's going to be some that you're like, okay, that's park food. I mean, but that's literally what it is.
Yeah.
So it's going to be that way.
You have to set some expectations.
Some expectations. You're not going to get a 5-star hamburger at a quick service.
No.
Although, which I know we have this, is one of the things too. I like the hamburger at Cosmic Race. Like,
Don't even get me started on Cosmic Race.
yeah, I'm like, maybe my expectations are low or maybe my standards are low. Maybe, I don't know. But like when we go there, I'm like, oh, I want to go get a burger at Cosmic Race.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a battle between Cosmic Race and then going on the other side to where Columbia Harbor House is. Or where we're going to go. But yeah, you definitely can get some really good quick service. And then like Animal Kingdom has, like the Flame Tree. Wait, Flame Tree is quick service, right?
Yeah, Flame Tree is quick service.
Yeah, Flame Tree. There's Satuli Canteen. There's different ones. Hollywood Studios has like Backlot Express. That's really good.
Good.
The Commissary. Yeah, so there's definitely good quick service. You just have to, like I said, not go in with the expectation that you're getting a sit down meal.
Yeah.
And pick the right things, I guess, off the menu.
Yeah, absolutely. We hit that. Named off a lot of popular. Disney Springs has a lot of quick service restaurants too that are really good. They have a lot more table service, but they do have a lot of good quick service restaurants that qualify for the meal plan.
Yeah, probably my favorite quick service of all is at Disney Springs, and it's Polite Pig.
Yes, I love the Polite Pig. It's a must-do every time that we go.
Yeah, us too.
You just get so much food, even for quick service. Like
that one, it is a lot,
and it is solid barbecue. Like love. And what's crazy is like you mentioned like choosing the right time. Like I have seen that line wrap out the building and around.
Oh yeah, Polite Pig gets packed. It's when we first started going. I think the first couple of times, we ate at Blaze Pizza, and I was like, "Oh, that was my go-to," which it's good. I mean, it's not like amazing pizza, but it's pretty good. It's decent pizza. And I think I've mentioned before how Josh is kind of a pizza snob, so we don't eat it a lot, and he was okay with it.
Yeah.
But then when we ate Polite Pig, we're like, no, now we have to switch. That's our favorite.
I feel like we hit all the key points.
The main points, yeah. Yeah, so you want to tell us what your favorite quick service places are?
See, there's so many ties. Like
I know.
I'm just all right. So Disney Springs Polite Pig every time. The barbecue's fabulous. The atmosphere's great. And you just get so much food for it. You get so much bang for your buck there. If we hadn't gone to Columbia Harbor House this past trip, Cosmic Rays would have topped it for Magic Kingdom. I'm gonna have to say now that I've experienced Columbia Harbor House that's my top quick service. Like I've already got a plan. That's where we're going for lunch on our trip in.
What do you get?
The lobster roll.
Yeah, let's do.
Fabulous. And what's ironic, which it's not ironic, I thought I was allergic to shellfish for so long. So that was actually my first time having lobster. Never had lobster before.
Oh, wow.
It was really good. Animal Kingdom, Flame Tree Barbecue. Really like Flame Tree Barbecue. The barbecue mac and cheese is what I get every time. Really good.
Sounds good.
Epcot is La Cantina San Angel. I used to love the Mexico Pavilion, San Angel, and then they changed their menu, and I just haven't been a big fan of the table service. But the Cantina San Angel has never disappointed me. Love their tacos, especially their taco platter that comes with the 3 or 4 different types of tacos. Just really good.
Yeah.
Hollywood Studios. I don't really have a favorite at Hollywood Studios. I think if I had to pick, I would pick Woody's Lunchbox. They do a really good job. That's a relatively newer one.
Yeah. Yeah, the loaded tots are really good.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Woody's Lunchbox. Plus, it's kind of back there in Toy Story, which is super, super cool. You get a really good vibe off of that. All right, your turn.
Yeah. So I think I probably talked about most of mine. Polite Pig, for sure, is on the top. And Cosmic Rays, burger. Columbia Harbor House, so we went during Food and Wine one year. And at Epcot in the American Pavilion, they have a stand, and I don't know if they do it every year, but they had lobster rolls at the American, like the little booth. Now, granted, it was probably a few inches long, so it's like you almost got 2 bites of it, but it was so good. Like the lobster was warm and the bun was toasted. It was so good. So we kind of got hooked on that one. So we go to Columbia Harbor House, which that one's cold, so it's not the same, but it's still really good.
Yeah.
But if we could get the one at Epcot, we'll do that first. I think same thing at Hollywood Studios. We usually end up at Backlot Express and just get a burger.
Yeah.
We don't really eat at Hollywood Studios a lot. We usually leave.
Yeah, we do too.
What was going to say? Animal Kingdom. Most of the time at Animal Kingdom, we're going to do Yak and Yeti. If we don't, which I feel like every time we go now, we eat there, so we don't really eat lunch. We go to the Yak and Yeti walk up. Even though they don't have the same thing, they actually have a really good burger. At the walk up at Yak and Yeti. And then Epcot, we usually eat via Napoli, so we don't eat a lot of quick service there either.
Yeah.
We'll grab something very rarely where we'll go in the Lands Pavilion and eat in there. We haven't eaten at the new, or actually we might have a couple of summers ago, ate in the, I can't even think of what it's called, the new little area. But yeah, most of the time we're just going to get sit-down restaurants there. So we'll see.
Paris has a really good quick service one too, now that I think of it. Their pastry shop, whatever it's called. That's really good. We like to go back there and get lunch sometimes.
Yeah. Definitely good. I'm glad I ate right before. I literally got home from the competition and hurried about 8 and came in here, because if not, I wouldn't be able to talk about food tonight.
I'm going to go eat after this podcast. So.
Oh gosh. Yeah. I'm going to go to bed, but yeah. And I haven't had Tula Canteen. I don't know why we never try that one, but I know that one's really popular.
I may try it.
Yeah. Me too. One day. That's one of the things that we do is like every time I'm like, okay, I'm going to try new things, but then I have so many of my favorites
that you just stick with
that I keep going back. And so I know I'm missing out on some other good stuff. So.
All right. Table service. Or also known as the Disney Dining Plan.
The Disney Dining Plan. Yeah, it's kind of the name. I'm like,
I don't like the name.
No, because of course everybody thinks Disney Dining Plan as like in general. So with it being the name of one of the actual plans can be a little confusing. But with the Disney Dining Plan, you get one table service, which is a sit down that you have to make reservations for, one counter service, quick service meal, and then your snack. This one is good for folks who definitely want to do a lot more planning, want to have, the sit down meals, like your character meals, some of the more fine dining reservations, those things. But it does take planning because you have to make reservations for those. So this is something that
60 days out.
Yeah, 60 days out. And especially if you're looking for one that's very popular, like you have to be on right when the window opens or you risk not getting it.
I think I got on a couple weeks ago to get Cinderella's Royal Table. And even at the 60-day mark, it was almost like there was no availability.
Yeah, and I don't know about how you feel, but since that one is prepay.
Yeah, right.
That one stresses me out when I'm doing it for clients so bad because I'm like, okay, because I usually tell them, what is your ideal time, but give me a window.
Yeah.
And then if it's not in the window, because I'm like, gosh, I don't want them to not get it.
Yeah.
But then they have to pay for it. So it's like a gamble. It's a gamble.
I mean, I get why people got to advance for it, but it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So this one takes a little more thought. It's not something that you can just, on the whim. Now, in saying that, and I'll tell clients that too, if there's a reservation that you want and you don't get it, keep trying. Even try the day of.
Mm-hmm.
Or sometimes on little trips like this coming week, when we go for Liv's cheer trip, probably not going to make reservations, especially since we don't really know when we'll be where. You can still look on the app that day and there's always plenty of things open.
Yeah.
So you don't necessarily have to, but you do for ones like Cinderella's Table or things that you definitely want to get.
Yeah.
So you have to plan those out. But it's definitely you're going to get, higher quality food if you pick the right places.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unique experiences, just different,
That's what I was going to say. Some of the experiences that you get with the table service. Like, Be Our Guest, like, used to be one of my, before it went to a 2-credit meal, used to be my top place to go just because I loved the vibe that Be Our Guest had. Like, there's some really cool experiences out there.
Yeah, and now that you said that, we probably should have talked a little bit about how it works. Because whichever plan that you get, so in order to get, like, you can't just buy tickets to Disney and stay off site. So you have to stay on site at a resort to get the dining plan. And then your credits are loaded on, so each person gets that amount of credits per night in the resort. So if you have 2 people in, you get, 2 table service a night per person, per room. Each
Yes.
person gets their own. There are some reservations, like the table service reservations, that are 2 credits. So when booking dining, you have to kind of keep that in mind. Because say you have a 5-night stay, then you get 5 table service credits. But if one of your reservations takes 2, then one night you're going to be out. So you either can use 2 quick service meals that day, or you'll have to pay. Because you don't have to use them per night.
Right.
You can use them for the entire stay.
Which the good news is there's not a lot of table service restaurants that are 2 credits.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's only a handful total across, the 4 parks that are not a 1 credit.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, we used to stack our desserts, our snacks, and then on our last day, just roll up to Starbucks at Disney Springs, buy all of their pastries, and hit the road.
Hit the road.
Yeah.
We did, and I'm pretty sure you can't do this anymore.
I know
it
where
used
you're
to
going
be,
with this, and I don't know.
Yes, like if you had, so when we went on our very first trip, we were there. We had 7, or I think we actually stayed for 8 nights, and this was when the kids were 6 and 9. So we had free dining back then. And so we had the morning we were leaving, same thing. We had all of these quick service because we didn't eat all of our quick service meals, and then they let you change it into snacks. And so we just went into the quick service restaurant and loaded up on muffins and things for the ride home.
Yeah, you can't.
But now
you
can't do that anymore. No. So, definitely, even if you have it, use it.
Yeah. Like,
and I
that's
don't know.
that's the thing. Like, I'm in a lot of Facebook groups, and I see all the time, which is great. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, hey, we're leaving today, and we have like 4 quick service meals. Who wants it? And I'm like,
Yes.
I'm like, 1, thank you for kind of giving away free stuff, but 2, like, you gotta stay on it. Like, when we went for 2 weeks, like, every other day or so, like, I was checking and being like, all right, this is what we have left. This is what we're planning to do. Oh, we need to add something, or else we're gonna have extra. So you really got to stay on top of it and make sure.
Yeah.
And it's different, like, for snacks, but especially for your quick service, your table service, you really want to make sure you use those credits.
Right. And then 2, if it, you can break it up, since you get 2 a day, or essentially 1, but if share meals, like get a breakfast and a lunch. And that way you're using your credits, and then, like go get what's it called? The Bounty breakfast or whatever, where it's all, you get the 5 Mickey waffles and bacon, and split it, and then use the other person's for lunch and split lunch. That way you're getting, meals for all the day. So there's ways to use it and not waste it.
Yeah.
But that's where I struggle with, is it worth it or not?
Yeah, which we haven't
given our secrets away. I think I put a section in there somewhere. Maybe. Where to come out. Who was Jay and who was Nate? Yeah, we're rolling through it tonight.
Yeah, we are. The good thing is, like, when it comes to Disney dining, it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Like, the only thing you got to figure out, like, is where you're eating. Like, the rest of it's just kind of easy.
Yeah, and I don't know, because you used to be able to make dining 180 days.
Yeah.
But now, I know sometimes it's like, oh, it's 60 days, but I'm like, man, knowing myself, if I made reservations 180 days out, and then I have all of that time to think about it, I'm going to drive myself crazy. I'm going to change my plans, or I'm going to doubt what I did, because I do that now, even with the 60 days or whatever. I love planning other people's trips. My own trip, I drive myself nuts because I question everything that I do.
Well, I mean, it was crazy, like, back in the day before COVID hit, when it was 180-day dining, 60-day fast passes. Like, it was crazy because 180 days out, you would make this dining, and then, you know, 60 days, you gotta, like, during that time, you gotta try your best to plan your fast passes around
around
your
it. Yeah.
dining because, like, if you're dining in the America Pavilion at Epcot and you're trying to get a fast pass for Soarin', and the only time is that they'll line up perfectly, like, it was even more
Yeah.
stressful because you had to try to figure out, like,
For-
well, we wanna do the fast pass, we're gonna be by when we're eating, and it was chaos
Yeah.
back in the day.
Yeah. Lots of planning.
But yeah, I love table service at Disney. I do. Like I
Me
said,
too.
there's so many, and, like, we only covered, kind of going back and forth teetering between the 2. We only covered Disney Springs and the 4 parks, but there's 25 something other resorts that are on Disney property
Yeah.
that each have their own quick service and table service.
Hmm.
So, like, there's hundreds of options to choose from. Because I mean, like I said, after our September trip, like, I will have resort days. Not on our May trip because I'm trying to, like, power through and hit as much as I can with Mel. Um, but, like, the next time we go as a family, there will be resort days because one, it's
Yeah.
just so much fun to go visit the other resorts and have a chill day, and then two, just to experience some of the other food options that the resorts have, like the pizza
Yeah.
from Boardwalk, absolutely fabulous. Never even been to Boardwalk before. We just popped in to eat lunch and then we left. So there's so many dining options that are available at Disney. Like, it's a lot.
Yeah. I'm definitely, especially with this trip, because I'm not going to be able to do parks every day. Just depending on, when Olivia cheers. I'm hoping that we can maybe do a little bit of resort hopping just to go. Well, we're staying at Saratoga Springs, so that one's new for us.
Yeah.
But definitely want to try to spend some time to go, check out some of the other resorts,
Yeah.
check in on a dine. And for the life of me, I cannot remember the name, but Coronado Springs has really good food options there.
Yeah.
We've stayed there. I've stayed there a few times, and their food options are good. Both the quick service and the table service. It's going to drive me nuts. I'm going to pull up the name.
Googling it now.
Let's see. Dining. Three Bridges.
Oh, yeah.
And also Rick's Sports Bar is good too. So, yep.
Okay. So I feel like we covered a lot of table service and dining plan. Favorite.
You want to give? Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna let you go first this time.
Okay.
Favorite table
I think
service.
anybody who has listened to any of our shows or has listened to me talk about Disney probably knows my favorites.
Yes.
And it's funny because I just listened to the Disney Crushes episode when I was at the gym this week, and they talked about 5 things that would make someone mad, something like that. And Tony Ann talked about my favorite, how she said that, her saying she didn't like it, which is Homecoming. That is like, and that's what I told Josh. I'm like, didn't make reservations for Homecoming and it's killing me. We'll probably end up at Homecoming at some point, especially because we're staying right there at Saratoga Springs. But man, those Church Lady deviled eggs and those thigh-high chicken biscuits are so good. And they have really good drinks. Yeah. And again, I don't drink that often, but when I go there, I definitely have a drink. So that's my favorite outside. That's at Disney Springs. And then, of course, Yak and Yeti. We eat there every single time. In Via Napoli. Over in Epcot. I don't have a favorite in Magic Kingdom or in Hollywood Studios.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not really a fan. Now, I do want to try Skipper Canteen. I've heard that one's really good. So I do want to try that one because I have a feeling that would probably be one that we like, but we just haven't tried it yet.
Yeah.
And I haven't really done many table service at resort either.
There's so many good options.
I know. I do have one for California Grill, although I may end up canceling it. I'm not sure.
I've
Just
heard
depends
great
on what
things
if
about
we go to a
California
park
Grill.
that day. What's that?
I was just saying, I've heard great things about California Grill.
Yeah. But I don't know. We'll see.
Okay. Disney Springs, Planet Hollywood. Just really love the vibe, love the food every time we've gone there. It's a really great experience. Magic Kingdom, Liberty Tree Tavern, every time. Big fan of the family style. Big fan of the food. Big fan of the dessert. All you can eat dessert. Hollywood Studios is always
Don't say it. No, I'm kidding. If it's the one that I think of, I'm only saying it because I make fun because of Josh getting sick.
It's a tie. Sci-Fi Drive-In is. I really, really do love the vibe.
Yeah.
The food is okay, but it's a favorite because of the drive-in experience.
Yeah, it's neat.
It's just a really cool experience. And then the other one is, what's that one in Toy Story? I'm drawing a blank on it right now.
Oh, Roundup Barbecue.
Thank you. Yes.
Rodeo Roundup.
The one where you're a toy in Andy's room while you're eating. Yeah.
Yeah, Roundup Bar. I think it's now. Yeah, Rodeo Roundup Barbecue.
There you go.
I haven't done that one either.
And then, let's see, Animal Kingdom, Tusker House. Love Tusker House. And then Epcot. Garden Grill was really good this last time. Really enjoyed Garden Grill. But I think Beer Garden is going to do it for me as my top at Epcot. Just because, one, I love German food. Two, just like you get a dinner and a show with it. And it's one of those cool experiences that you're going to do. Like the girls get to go down and dance and sing and participate in polka music. It's just a really good time.
Yeah, which one? Well, when I said don't say it, I thought you were going to say Hollywood and Vine.
Oh,
That's why.
it was okay. I went
Yeah.
It wasn't my favorite. I'd go back, but it just wasn't my favorite.
Yeah. Another one that we tried in Disney Springs, Liv's freshman year, was Raglan Road. That one was really good.
I've heard really good things about Raglan Road.
I had like some scallop dish, and it was really good. Then I know you said San Angel used to be a favorite. Have you done the La Hacienda San Angel? So not the one with the ride, the other one.
You're talking the restaurant inside the shop area. Like when you go in, like when you walk in, you go right down the little ramp, and then the little bar / restaurant that's right there.
No, there's one across. So there's two separate ones. There's the one that you go in where the ride is, like in that area. And then there's which is San Angel
It's in front of the, yeah.
And then this one is La Hacienda de San Angel.
Where's that one?
I'm sure
at?
I'm probably killing the name. That one's really good. That one has the avocado margarita, which is delicious.
Yeah, I'm curious. Where's that at?
I'm bad with directions. And then you could see the water when you're sitting in the restaurant. You could see the Echo Lake.
Oh,
whatever.
That one. No, we've never eaten that.
That one's really good. And I'm saying I don't drink, but I keep mentioning all the places that I like their drinks. But the avocado margarita there is so good.
Yeah. No, we've never eaten it. La Hacienda. We've only eaten it just San
Yeah.
Angel.
It's a little more upscale than the other one. We went when I was there on an agency trip. It was a random. We were kind of tired at the end of the day, and a couple of the ladies like, "We just made a reservation. Do you want to come?" And I'm like, "Sure." And that's when I found out they had the margarita there. So
Nice.
it's pretty good. Now I'm like, I cannot wait to go in 3 weeks because I'm dying for some Disney food.
128 days.
Let me see what mine says. I have a countdown. So one of my mouse counselor friends had this cute little countdown app that she shared. And so I went and downloaded it. I have 26 days. Sweet. I'm ready.
I just made my number up. I'm gonna look. No, it wants me to sign in. That's a lot of work. It was 130 days the other day, so I'm going to say 128.
Yeah, you're close.
Um,
And it's just you and a
um,
buddy going, right?
yes.
Sweet.
Apparently Rachel is salty about, but that's just
I mean, I don't
conversation
blame
for
her. I'd be
another
salty too
episode.
because you just did a trip. Tell Rachel her and I can go, and we'll leave you and Josh home.
That's
We could do a
fine.
girls' trip.
That's fine.
I mean, I'll go with.
Okay, so free dining. Free dining
Yeah.
is coming up quick.
It is coming up. And so I did look it up, and it is because I was like, oh man, I said the wrong thing on our
Oh, you said
live,
the right
but it
thing.
is for summer. It is for summer. So
Yeah.
you can, and I just closed out my notes.
So you got to
Yeah.
check in any time frame between May 27th and June 26th. And then the
July
second
7th
period.
in
Yep.
August.
Yep.
Yeah, but I think I was looking at the eligibility when you can book it.
Oh, like when
Because I
it
don't think
actually
it's
opens
open
for
to
booking.
continue booking. I think you can book it through February, a February date, maybe like the
Mhm.
10th, somewhere in there. But yeah, so you can get, so you have to have a 3-night, 3-day stay, and you have to have park hopper tickets. So you can't get base tickets with that. And then the way the free dining promotion works is if you stay at the deluxe or deluxe villa resorts, you get the Disney dining plan. And then if you stay at the value and moderate resorts, you get the quick service plan.
Yeah, that's how they always get you with that.
Yeah.
That free dining is. That's how we got the free Disney, which back then it wasn't the Disney dining plan, but a couple years ago, back in 2019, when we went and got free Disney dining plan, we had to upgrade from, I don't know where we were booked at, but we ended up upgrading to Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Sweet.
And that's
Yeah.
how we stayed at Animal Kingdom Lodge, and it was the same price. We just got free dining, so I was like,
Yeah, that's
sold.
awesome. Yeah, and one of the things to consider too is that just like you doesn't automatically mean you're going to get it. So there's some
Mhm.
like for whatever reason, Pop Century is excluded a lot on some of the
That's
promotions.
Skyliner.
Yeah. So just doesn't automatically mean that you will get it. But one of the things to do too is that's when you start weighing the options. Like, okay, unless you pick the resort specifically like Pop for the Skyliner, which you could, if Caribbean Beach has one, then you can do that. But that's where you kind of make the decision on maybe changing resorts like you did. Like if it's worth it to get the free dining. And we're saying free because you're paying a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because you're upgrading resorts. But, just price it out both ways and see if it's worth it. And then you might get to stay in a resort that you might otherwise not have picked.
Yeah, and with these deals, you always want to get in like as soon as they drop too, because each resort only has like a certain number
So
of
many,
slots.
yeah.
Like so once Animal Kingdom Lodge gets sells all their free dining promo slots, like there's no more. So you definitely want to get in earlier because these deals will sell out pretty quickly.
They do. That's one of the most stressful things too when you're pricing something out for someone and then they're like, oh, well, let me think about it through the weekend. I'm like, please no. Let's just put it on a 3-day hold.
Yeah, right.
And then you make your decision. And that's the best thing you can do is book it on a hold and give yourself a few days. But yeah, so if you want to go, and I think it's enticing to do that free promotion through the summer to kind of draw some more summer business in there.
They already don't get enough.
Right. I mean, we go in the summer and I'm like, surely it's going to be not so crowded because it's so hot, but no, it's still crowded.
I'm curious if they're going to bring free dining back for the fall like they normally do. Or if this year is going to be like a summer only thing.
Yeah, hopefully we start getting some of the free stuff back, the free dining. I know that was huge. I don't remember how long it's been since I know it was definitely pre-COVID, but
last year was
when
the
we
first
got
year
free dining
was.
We got free dining when we went in 2014, so that's how long ago it was we got it.
We had it in 2019, and then the next time that we went was 2022. The dining plan wasn't back yet. And then when we went last year, we got free dining in the fall.
Sweet.
Crazy how long it took them to bring back the dining plan and then free dining. Like, which I mean, I get it.
And
like, there was still like, which I mean, still like, the whole nation is struggling with, employment. But like, I get it. Like Disney was struggling with having enough staff to, you know, get it to capacity. So they had to keep a lot of
Yeah.
it at lower capacities. But oh well, we have it now, and
Yep.
that's what matters.
We have it now. Yep. It's because I started doing the travel agency stuff during COVID.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it possessed me during COVID to become a vacation planner, but I did. So it was kind of new to me, as far as booking for clients and stuff when it came out. But
Yeah.
One thing that I do, and I don't know if this hurts or helps, but I just tell folks, like, I'm not trying to maximize your budget to benefit myself. So we're going to sit down and talk through all of it
Yeah.
and make the right decision for you. If you can't afford it and you need to get groceries, to make your lunch, then we'll make that work too.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Moment of truth.
Moment of truth. I think I don't know if we had anybody on a guest, but I think it's probably kind of obvious of who is for it and who is not.
I would really say I'm for it.
Yeah. No, I think that comment came from just because, when you and I chatted and you even said it early on, was that you like the all-inclusive feel.
I do.
So not necessarily that you like, yes, dining plan.
Yeah.
But
I think, because the other night I sat down and I was trying to figure it out if Jamel and I should get it for our trip in May. And there's a lot of really great calculators out there that essentially you can go in and plug in. It'll ask you like, hey, do you plan on ordering an appetizer? Do you plan on, getting dessert? Do you plan on getting alcohol? Like, it'll ask you what your preferences are, and then it'll allow you to like, all right, I checked out on this day, I checked it out on this day, and then this is what we would do for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And it gives you the option to list out, like, do a drop down of every single restaurant. And then at the end, it'll tell you like, hey, this is how much you're going to spend. You'd be better off not getting the dining plan, or, you would be better off getting it. And so, just kind of using that, like it just didn't seem worth it for Jamel and I to use it in May. I think it's just like, you got to do the research and figure out, like, I think in order to use the dining plan to its fullest, like you really do, you got to go all out. Like you got to use all the table services. You got to use all the snacks. You got to use your resort mug every single night. You got to order alcohol or, specialty drinks. You got to order appetizers. You got to order dessert. Like you literally have to take full advantage of it for it to be worth it. Because if you just show up, you miss out on the snacks. You never order dessert. Like you always get water. Like it's going to be cheaper if you just pay out of pocket all day.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I definitely feel like, especially, like with you saying you're a foodie, like somebody who wants the food experience more than, just go and eat really quick, then it's definitely worth it. Because you get, again, everything's paid for. So then you can pick the finer things on the menu that you otherwise would maybe not pick if you're, watching your budget. But if it's paid for in advance, then, like when we went, it was great. I paid to upgrade the kids, and I don't even know if you can still do that now. But then they were 3 and 9. And so I think Braden, because 10 is when you consider the adult. So I paid to upgrade both of them so they could both be on the adult plan.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm not going to sit here and order a steak, and this is how spoiled the kids are. Like, they're not going to want chicken fingers if we're eating. And I tell you, we went to Rainforest Cafe in Animal Kingdom, and they had a surf and turf, and Braden's favorite thing is lobster. And so we were able to get the steak with the lobster, and like the kids thought that was like the best thing because they got to get it too.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's definitely, if you want to be able to pick some of the better things on the menu and just not have to worry about it when you're there. Yeah. Then definitely pay for it, or, get the free plan.
Yeah. I mean, if you like that all inclusive feel, like that's kind of how Rachel is. Like, she has a similar mindset to me, but if we pay a little bit more money just to get the all inclusive bill, she's fine with it. Like,
yeah. And it helps too, because like, especially if you book your vacation far in advance, you have time to pay on it.
Yeah.
You could say all you want, I'm going to save money so that way when I get there, I have all this money. But and then you get there and then you're stressing out about, like how much
Yeah.
you're going to spend on food. It's paid
That's why I
for.
just charge it to a credit card and don't worry about it. I'm like,
Yeah.
wait 30 days, look at the credit card bill, then deal with it.
Then like, oh gosh, what did we do? Yeah.
That was me
So,
after my
I know I
November
said I
trip.
was a nay, but not really. It depends. I
In
mean,
the
for the
middle.
most part, we don't get it, but it just depends.
Yeah, I think we're both in the same boat. Like it's just going to depend on every trip is different.
Definitely.
So we covered a lot.
We did.
And finally we still made it to an hour.
Awesome.
I thought we were gonna be at like 40 minutes, but you and I like to talk, so that's good.
I know. I'm like,
So we
I was
covered
like,
the
okay,
quick
gotta
service.
keep. Go ahead.
But
I'm good.
oh,
I was just gonna say, I was like, okay, and going in, I was like, I gotta keep the stories limited to make us not go over, but it's so hard when you start talking.
It is. So we covered quick service, table service, what the differences are,
Dining
all
plan.
the type of snacks. We covered the difference between the quick service dining plan and the Disney dining plan. I don't know why they just didn't name it the table service dining plan. Like that's as
Right.
good as the quick service, whatever.
Right.
And then we covered free dining, and then just it's just every trip is just going to be different. You got to figure out what your priorities are. You got to figure out what your expectations are, and then you just got to figure out how much money you're willing to spend. Like,
Yep.
or how much money you may spend, and then that's really what it'll come down to. So, yeah, it was a good episode. I'm hungry, and I'm probably gonna go eat food. I'm gonna eat some king cake after this.
Oh man, I have how many days? We're on day 8, so I have what 11 days.
See, this is why during 21 days of prayer you give up things like soda. Don't give up king cake.
But I don't drink soda.
Well, I don't
So I'm like,
anymore. For 8 days, I haven't.
Yeah, I tried. So Josh and I diet and exercise anyway. So I really normally during 21 days of prayer and fasting, I don't normally give up food.
Yeah.
I do a soul fast, and I usually give up like Facebook or something like that. But because of the travel business, because of
it's hard.
this, podcast, it's hard to give up social media. So I do have some health issues. So, and I have been snacking a little more than I wanted to. So I was like, you know what? Even though I should already be eating better, I'm just going to give up junk food.
There you go.
I'll have healthy snacks.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's going to help me health wise. And then also it's just, this thing for the church.
I'll
so
eat an extra piece of king cake for you. Don't worry.
I sent 3 of my TA besties. I sent them all a king cake from Randazzo's. Yeah. And so probably just gave the spoiler alert away because I sent one to somebody else too, if he listens. But I told them, I said, we need to do a live show. I mean, a Zoom call when y'all eat the king cake. And so I was like, you know what? It'll be after the fast. I'm going to get me one too.
There you go.
And so that way we can all eat the king cake together and see if they like it or not.
Do you love king cake?
Yeah. Can't wait.
Okay.
Anyway.
Next week episode 15.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know.
What are we talking about next week?
Next week is your friend who's going to come on and talk about the dining with allergies at Disney.
Right. I forgot about that. I should probably
follow up
and be like, hey.
Yeah. If not, let me know. We got plenty of other topics we could pull from.
She messaged me the other day. So yeah, she's coming on. I'll get a Facebook group going with us. But no, that's going to be super exciting because I have never, ever thought, I don't have food allergies. At least I don't anymore. I never really did. So I've never thought about what it's like to go to Disney and stress over food allergies.
Right.
So it'll be an interesting episode to hear, one, it'll make me a better agent to help my clients if I ever have somebody like that. Two, it'll just be interesting to hear that side of the house.
Right. Definitely.
Okay. Are you closing us out or am I closing us out?
I could do it.
All right. You got this. I know you got your notes up.
I do. And so I am looking to the side. See, the listeners can't see that. Only the watchers. No, but this was super fun, super excited always to talk Disney, especially when it involves our favorite things like food. So we look forward to having you guys with us next week. If you're looking for information on the show, if you want to request vacation help, Fred and I, again, are both travel agents. We're happy to help you to get your vacation going. You can reach out to us at info@GoingBeyondTheCastle.com. To find out anything about our show, you can go to our newly created website by Fred, www.GoingBeyondTheCastle.com. If you want to connect with us on social media, we have our Facebook page, our Instagram, our TikTok. We also have a Facebook group. But on that, you can reach us at beacons.ai/GoingBeyondTheCastle. Our Facebook group, I'm not sure if the link is on there, but we have Going Beyond the Castle Podcast Lounge. We'd love to get some more interaction there because that's where we can kind of start having some conversations and throwing ideas out there. I know Fred and I both asked some questions recently about some upcoming trips on what would you do. But yeah, that's how you can keep up to date with Fred and I. And as always, we thank you guys for joining us on Going Beyond the Castle. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep exploring, and keep going beyond the castle.
Thank you for joining us on this magical journey. We hope today's episode brought a little extra spark to your day and inspired your next adventure. Whether it's a thrilling escape to Universal, a dream cruise getaway, or unforgettable memories at Disney. Have questions? A topic you'd like us to cover? Your own magical story to share or looking for travel assistance? We'd love to hear from you. Drop us a line at info@GoingBeyondTheCastle.com. Be sure to check out all our social media links and podcast platforms at beacons.ai/GoingBeyondTheCastle podcast. And don't miss the fun in our Facebook group, Going Beyond the Castle Podcast Lounge, where we share tips, updates, and behind-the-scenes moments. Until next time, see you real soon.